Hey guys, Mark Robinson here. I'm your host of the Wealth Rewired podcast, and this episode I'm going to talk about, which is stop trying harder. You're using the wrong brain. And man, I'm not talking about that other little fella that that quite often gets us into trouble. No, I'm talking about something else. Okay, so why hustle is a coping mechanism, not a strategy. And I really don't like the word hustle, right? In fact, we had a podcast, the Hustle to a Wealthy podcast, and I used to say to the other business partner, man, don't like the name, right? I don't like about the whole hustle thing. So let's dive right into it. I don't know about you. Tell me in the comments, right? Do you like the word hustle? Do you like hustling? Yeah, to me, it's almost like a hustle, right? I'm trying to, hustle you out of something or something. But here, look, here's the thing, why, and a couple of reasons why I don't like the word hustle, right? Hustle is what people do when they don't trust themselves or their plan, right? Without a doubt, it's a distraction from uncomfortable emotions like fear, doubt, inadequacy. And quite often, guys, hustle is often just busy avoidance dressed up as productivity. I don't know about you, but my goal when I'm working is I want to be absolutely focused on, one task at a time. And I really, one tool, guys, I'll probably get my beautiful wife, Billy, to talk about this point more, right? But one of the tools that I've used recently that I've just discovered is, hey, what time is it? And the answer is now. And where are you? And the answer is here, right? So if you want to get really focused, if you start feeling your mind wandering and stuff and not getting clear on the task at hand, just ask yourself those two simple questions, right? Where are you? Here. What time is it? Now. Right? Because I can tell you right now, when you don't have the clarity, you compensate with effort. So really start to always hone in, right? And people who brag about grinding usually aren't actually growing. There used to be this whole bro code, right? About people doing, multi-million dollar businesses and all that and hustle and grind. Look, I've never ever wanted to have this big business where I have no control of my time. I would much rather, do short bursts of energy, have a real business that is profitable, right? And the first and foremost, and then, if I do feel like expanding, I can, right? So what are the two parts of the brain that dictates wealth creation? Well, first and foremost, right, it's your survival brain, the amygdala. I think that's how you say it. I've never been able to get that one right. Right? This is your survival brain, right? It's driven by fear, it's driven by urgency, and it's driven by short-term thinking, right? I need to get out of here. I need to fight. I need to do this. Yeah. And the other one is your creative brain, your prefrontal cortex. And this is driven by vision, it's driven by planning, and it's driven around long-term wealth. Yeah. And most people are trying to build wealth stuck in survival mode. It is absolutely impossible if you do that, right? You cannot innovate while your brain believes you're in danger. It's that simple, right? So wealth comes from clarity, not cortisol. Yeah. And this is why effort isn't what creates exponential results. Clarity is, right? What time is it? Now. Where are you? Here. So you're here listening to this right now, and it's all about that clarity, right? If you have a clear strategic hour, it's worth 10 hours of scattered hustle, without a doubt. And you know this, right? But what do you need to do to make this work? Because I can tell you, guys, that clarity turns chaos into a straight path, whereas hustle just increases the chaos and faster, right? Exponential, and it compounds. It really you start to go nut, right? And so I can tell you right now that clarity allows you to say no to 90% of the noise and yes to what compounds, right? I want to say that again, guys. Clarity allows you to say no to 90% of the noise and yes to what compounds. And in the International Academy of Wealth, right, my goal is to give you the clarity and the confidence for you to make financial decisions. Because if you have clarity, you can get rid of all the other noise, everything else, and you just focus on what you need to do right now. What time is it? Now. Where are you? Here. Yeah. People don't burn out from working hard. They burn out from working blind. Right? Got to get that clarity. So how do you switch from survival mode to creation mode? First and foremost, slow down. Right? Speed is the signal of survival. So slow down. I think it was in the F1 movie, right? I'm going to probably get this wrong, but basically, I think that the guy says, slow down to go fast. Yeah. So just keep the clarity there, right? Step 2, you regulate your nervous system before making decisions. And again, this is where we keep talking about, like when I first discovered breath work, I just knew that was going to be a life changer, an absolute game changer for me. And, the amount of every time, when I go to make decisions, I regulate my nervous system by doing some breath work. And it can be just as simple as, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. Or if you need to do something else, there are so many different ways to do breath work. And you're going to hear a lot more of it from us in 2026. Yeah. Step 3, ask, what would future me do? Instead of, what do I feel like doing? Yeah. So what would your future self do? Step 4, create space. Clarity needs room, not pressure. Right. And that could be, a cluttered, decluttering your workspace. It could be making sure, if you've got a whiteboard, right, that there's not a whole lot of junk written on it. And when you've done something, get rid of it, wipe it off and move on, focusing on one step at a time. Right. And then step 5, guys, replace urgency with intentionality, right? Urgency destroys wealth. And we quite often talk about JOMO, right? The joy of missing out versus FOMO, the fear of missing out. And the real key for me in that JOMO or FOMO is, I've seen it time and time again. There will always be another opportunity. There will always be another opportunity. So you don't have to jump into the one. I never liked it when we've had to put deadlines on opportunities, and without a doubt, the good ones always, will end up having a deadline. Yeah. But that's okay. If you're not ready, if you don't have the clarity of where that opportunity fits in your portfolio, then just ignore it and go on to the next one. Yeah. So here's a daily 3-minute pattern interrupt that instantly improves decision making. All right. Here we go. Without a doubt, just take 3 deep breaths, because this will reset the nervous system and it shifts the brain out of panic, right? And I mean deep breaths. I'm talking about breathe in as big as you possibly can, right? Whether it's through the nose or through the mouth, just breathe in as big as you possibly can and then release, right? Yeah? And you do that at least 3 times, okay? And then ask yourself, is this a fair decision or a wealth decision? You'll find somewhere in your body will give you a signal. Is it fair? Yeah. And then visualize your future self for 10 seconds. It changes your state instantly. Yeah. Identify the one action that moves the needle instead of reacting to noise. And then just step away from the screen. Movement breaks emotional loops. So if you are there, if you're making trading decisions or an investment decision, or you're about to do this, you're about to do that, just step away from the screen for a bit, right? Shake it out. Go for a little walk. Come back. Set yourself. Visualize. Boom. How does that work? Yeah. Hope you guys found this episode useful. Looking forward to the next one, guys. As always, click the like button if you enjoyed it. Write a comment down. We'll always answer your comments. And subscribe so you don't miss out on further episodes. Bye for now.